Roll call. From is excused, Gill's excused, Broker. Here. Shooty.
Here.
Krieger. Here. Actor.
Here.
4 present. Public comment? Hold on a second, guys. Approval of the city council meeting from May 22nd.
Motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion by Broker, second by Shooty to approve the minutes of the May 27th, 2025 city council meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now public comment.
Yes, my name is Eddie Arnold, and I live in Rockville in the subdivision out there on Jasper Court. And something that I would like the city council to kind of consider, I understand right now that there are ordinances that if you have a standalone home, you can have up to 1,200 square feet of garage. If you live in a duplex, you're only allowed 600. I live in a duplex, which you may have already guessed. And the problem is I have an over 14,000 square foot lot that I live on. My portion of that is not half. My portion is over 12,000. And it's difficult when I moved from New Mexico about a year ago to Kiel. Lived in Kiel when I was a little boy, but now I'm back. And when I moved from New Mexico, I had a 5-car garage attached to the house down there. So I didn't realize when I came here that I was going to be very, very limited on what I could do. And just for future consideration, I hope that you would consider taking into account the size of people's lot versus just saying if they live in a duplex, they're only allowed this size. If they live in a house, they're allowed that size. I think it's unfair to anybody that lives in a duplex when they have a yard that's bigger than most of the yards right here in town for the houses. So just something for future consideration. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Arnold contacted me and let me know he was coming tonight. I contacted him and explained to him his initial intent was to come and seek resolution. I explained to Mr. Arnold that during public comment, because he's not on the agenda, that he wouldn't be able to discuss it or take any action. I also talked to him about the proper permitting process to go through a meeting with building inspector and myself to talk about the zoning and then his rights to appeal through the Board of Appeals if he chooses to go that route. But we'll be setting up a time to sit down with the building inspector to review your intent, your plans. And
thank you for your help, Mr. Funkhauser, to kind of walk me through this because I don't understand the process exactly.
No, I'm happy to do so, and you didn't ask me to call you, but I thought, I don't want you coming here thinking this is going to happen, and then leaving angry, like, well, you didn't even say a word. It's not that the council doesn't want to engage with you, it's just we're prohibited to doing so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consideration of ordinance 621 to amend chapter 14 of the building code. We talked about it.
We talked about this at committee. This is regarding uninhabitable land and the exemption. So the wording that I added in there, it's in red in your packet, is properties that abut designated uninhabitable land are exempt from the 2-foot setback restrictions. This was allow property owners that have no inhabitable land behind them to put their fence on the property line.
We'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve that.
I have a comment first. This is a situation where we're doing an ordinance for a specific situation, and I just don't like doing this. The ordinances are there for a purpose. They're voted on by the council. They're gone through the ordinance committee, brought to the council, and we're changing it for one specific situation. I just don't like that idea.
I understand your concern. I would politely disagree with that. This is why government exists. This is the intent of government, and ordinances and laws are meant to be fluid, to change. And just because one individual brings it forward, that doesn't mean that it couldn't benefit other people who find themselves in future situations.
Well, I just think it's wrong. I'm sorry. It's happened so many times, and it's always for a specific situation.
Okay.
I apologize that I wasn't here for committee meeting. Only in reviewing the packet for tonight's meeting, are we relatively sure that this
It's the DNR.
property would be uninhabitable?
It's the DNR land.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Does that tell you anything?
part of the end of 8th Street. And at the committee of the whole meeting, I did some research. Other communities don't even have a setback on their fences. Chilton for one, and Plymouth. The property owner just wants to move it back, and this is a unique situation. He brought
Did
it.
the DNR have to be appraised of this?
They don't have to. He's worked with them. It's his property. It's his lot.
Okay.
So,
And just to let you know, Alderman Broker, when he came and discussed it, he had been working with the DNR along that area and took out all of the invasive buckthorn along that stretch, and the DNR gave him the trees to plant in there on the DNR side. So he has been actively involved. They know what's going on. Okay, it's not just somebody saying something like we've had in the past.
Sure.
Any further discussion? We have a motion. Do we have a?
I'll second it.
Motion by Schulte, seconded by Broker, to allow the ordinance 621 to amend chapter 14 of the building code.
roll call.
Roll call. From's excused, Gill excused, Broker,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Krieger,
No.
Actor.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-1.
Can I add just one parting comment on this? Because of the way the ordinance was originally written, it was kind of, you could apply for an appeal, but then you couldn't apply for an appeal because it was under a different section in the code. So this kind of bridges that, and it just now allows it instead of, going through the whole appeal process, which couldn't happen because we were contradicting ourselves in our code. Correct?
Which is on the list of one of the ordinances that we need to review.
I'm not trying to,
No.
poke anybody's stone. I just was trying to clarify that.
Basically, the citizen, I discovered that there was no appeal process for this situation for him. So I'm trying to find, I apologize, I thought I had the letter from Northeast Asphalt's of recommended approval in your packet, but I should have it in here for the next agenda item. But I can bring it up.
I didn't see that in the packet.
It was, but I had to redo the packet a few times. I have it right here though, if you want to see it. So are we on that now, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Item 7, consideration of bid from Northeast Asphalt for $353,385 to complete the work at Kiel Meadows.
This is a
Paving project.
repaving project that we budgeted for 2025. The bids came in much lower than we budgeted, which is good news. Mr. August and I participated in the bid opening. The bids ranged from $353,385 to $359,114. The low bidder was Northeast Asphalt. And as you can see in the letter I've displayed, they are recommending that we award the contract to Northeast Asphalt for the base amount of $353,385.
We've worked with them in the past, correct?
Correct.
Do you know when they would do this?
The schedule hasn't been set yet, but if the bid is approved by the council
Okay.
tonight, we'll go through the bid approval process, and then once
Yeah.
that's done, we'll have a pre-construction meeting, come up with the timeline. Just for information purposes, we budgeted significantly more for this, so this is good news for us financially.
As long as the work is quality work, I don't have a problem with that.
I understand.
I just don't want 353,000 to turn into 700,000 because we have to go back in a year and redo it all. But, okay.
Need a motion?
Or no?
I'll make that motion for Northeast Asphalt for whatever the number is, to complete the repaving work in the Kiel and Meadows.
I'll second your office.
Motion by Actor, seconded by Schulte to approve the bid from Northeast Asphalt for $353,385 to complete the repaving work in Kiel and Meadows. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of resolution 2025-5 to accept wastewater treatment facility compliance maintenance annual report.
I will make the motion that we not only accept that report, but grant kudos to all of the workers involved with that for a 4.0 grade. That is a perfect score. Speaks very highly of not only the Kiel wastewater treatment facility, but also speaks very highly of the entire community of Kiel with regards to the importance of our water clarity. So I will make the motion, we approve it.
Okay, can I have that as a motion and then add notes to it? Can you make
You
that?
can just make the motion, I just
Okay.
was,
Because otherwise,
wanted the people
I'm
to
gonna have to ask
hear.
you to repeat that.
No.
And I don't think I'm going to encapsulate that in my minutes.
but I know their ears listening, and I wanted them to know that I was bragging about our city workers and our community.
And much appreciated.
Yes.
I'll second that we approve resolution 2025-5.
Motion by Shuley, seconded by Broker to approve the 2025-5 2024 Kiel wastewater treatment facility compliance maintenance annual report. All in favor?
Aye.
All roll call. Broker,
Yes.
Shuley,
Yes,
Krieger,
Yes.
Actor.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Consideration request to transfer employee Pat Langenfeld to the wastewater treatment plant.
This is to fill the opening that Chris had in the wastewater treatment plant. Patrick Langenfeld wishes to move from the Department of Public Works to that position. Chris approved of it. The starting wage is per the wage scale, and effective day would be tomorrow.
Does he have certifications and credentials, or is there a timeline and a plan in place for
Correct.
him to get that?
There is a timeline. He has some, from what I understand, he has some of the training, but he would be coming in fresh like any other starting. He definitely has an advantage of his knowledge of the staff, the facilities, the work. It's without a doubt a loss, and as the Director of Public Works, I'm not happy that I'm losing Pat. He's an exceptional employee, but the city's not losing him, so it's a personal decision. I know it was a tough one for him to make, but, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the request then to transfer the employment of Pat Langenfeld from Department of Public Works crewman to the wastewater treatment plant operator at the starting wage of $33.58 per hour effective June 11, 2025.
second.
Motion by Broker, second by Shuley to approve the request to transfer employment of Patrick Langenfeld to the Department of Public Works crewman to wastewater treatment plant operator at starting wage of $33.58 an hour effective June 11, 2025.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Just as an aside comment, because you know I'm very good for this, Patrick has a son graduating from high school this year. Perhaps he would be interested in becoming a DPW crewman. He would come from good stock.
Well, he's going to college, so,
Well, you can do both.
not out of state, I don't think.
Maybe you could learn to fly.
We are actively recruiting. I posted after the committee meeting, after you verbally approved that, I did post publicly, and so we're soliciting applications. We've got a few good candidates so far.
Sounds good.
Item number 10, consideration of quote from Pros for Technology for $6,887.22 for additional security cameras to be installed at City Hall.
As commented at the committee of the whole, this will help with our City Hall security measures. We have several areas that are not covered that absolutely should be, including the front steps and the election and utility drop box. This south alley, a large portion of that isn't covered, and the rear of the building isn't covered either. That area is also not picked up by the PD's cameras. So this will just be add-ons to our existing City Hall system, and we do have the budgeted capital funds to cover this project.
Was this budgeted?
This was not budgeted, but we have funds available for it.
Okay.
This is covered into that 60,000 that we had from what?
For the additional projects?
Yeah, from the,
Correct. I'm not certain why the original system wasn't designed and why those areas were not covered. It could have been because of cost restrictions, but this should be done, especially the front entrance area, to not have anything on that going down the steps.
And the one box on it.
Accept the quote from Pros for Technology for $6,887.22 for additional security cameras to be installed at key areas at City Hall.
Second.
House?
Motion by Broker, second by Octor to accept a quote from Pros for Technology for $6,887.22 for additional security cameras to be installed at City Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So like the next one, that wasn't budgeted either.
Same one is for Pros for Technology for electronic locks to be installed.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was asked to do when I started here by the previous mayor and supported by the current mayor was to take an inventory of things and change what needs to be changed. And one of the things that became glowingly concerning to me was the unauthorized access to areas within City Hall by people who shouldn't be in certain areas. I discovered that keys have been given out for decades to people, and we have a key log, but where nobody's confident that it's accurate. There are people that have all access keys and are employees that don't even have some of those access keys. This system will eliminate that concern by putting in, at minimum, in the City Hall offices and the administrative offices to prevent unauthorized access. It will allow us to give out a fob to those service organizations that use the building, and we can restrict access to only entry doors, the gym door, and prevent them from coming in. So after hours on the weekends, we've found people in our administrative offices, and we have a responsibility to keep people's information. Our citizens deserve that.
I'll make that motion of the Pros for Technology for $17,825.11 for electronic locks to be installed in the doors at City Hall.
I'll second it.
Motion by Octor, second by Shudi to accept Pros for Technology bid for $17,825.11 for electronic locks to be installed indoors at City Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider Chief Genti and Captain Camp to the Leadership Foundation Training Conference.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a question. If they're both gone, who's going to be in charge?
Sergeant Van Oss.
Pardon?
Sergeant Van Oss.
Okay.
Are they staying out there, or are they
Yeah.
commuting every day?
They're staying up there.
Right.
There's a number of evening events, and
Yeah.
the standard policy is anything over an hour
Yeah.
travel time.
Motion by Broker, second by Shudi to allow Chief Genti and Captain Camp to attend Wisconsin Police Chiefs Leadership Foundation Training Conference, August 10th through the 13th in Green Bay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'm sure if they decide to blow up the city, John, they'll come back.
I'm quite sure.
Or possibly jump on an airplane and go to a different country. I don't know.
Item 13, consideration of city clerk, treasurer, and deputy clerk to attend the Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Association Education Conference in the Cross.
So does that make you the clerk treasurer and deputy clerk treasurer? then?
Actually, the city clerk doesn't think she can attend, but for sure, the deputy clerk, I just kept her on there rather than doing the revised agenda.
Okay.
But it's valuable training, it's good stuff. They're both training exceptionally well, and quite impressed by how well they're doing, and this is a great organization for them to learn more.
Yeah. I'll make the motion that we approve attendance to the 2025 Wisconsin Municipal Clerk Association Annual Education Conference, August 19 to 22 in La Crosse, Wisconsin, for both the city clerk treasurer and the deputy clerk treasurer as they are able to attend.
Second.
Motion by Shudi, second by Oxner, to approve the city clerk treasurer and deputy city clerk treasurer to attend Wisconsin Clerk Association Annual Education Conference, August 19th through 22 in La Crosse. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration of liquor license. Approval of liquor license.
Move to approve liquor license.
Second. No, bench.
Motion by, what?
Krieger?
Yep. Motion by Krieger, second by Actor to approve the liquor license as printed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of approval for the mobile home license.
Make a motion to approve the mobile home license applications as represented in our packets.
Second.
Motion by Broker, second by Actor to approve the mobile home license as printed. And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 16, consideration of fireworks sales permit for Family Fireworks LLC at 320 Highway 67.
He submitted all the materials which are in your packet, was signed off, reviewed by the fire chief and the police chief. I'm sorry, assistant.
Motion to accept the fireworks sale permit for the Family Fireworks LLC on 320 Highway 67.
Second.
Motion by Actor, second by Broker to approve the permit for Family Fireworks LLC at 320 Highway 67. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve receipts and disbursements.
Move to approve receipts and disbursements.
Second.
Motion by Krieger, second by Broker to approve the receipts and disbursements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve bills.
Move to approve and pay all bills.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Krieger, second by Actor to pay bills. Roll call. Broker,
Yes.
Shooty,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Actor.
Yes.
4-0, motion carries. Notification to go into closed session.
Need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Actor and Shooty.
Motion by Actor, second by Shooty to go into closed session. All in favor?
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, let me stop the
We gotta
streaming,
get our
and you can turn off your mics.